to our football podcast show. This is week 1, and my name's Sam.
My name's Carson.
And I'm Chase.
And this week we're going to be talking about the top 20 players list, the preseason schedule, and some standout preseason players since there's not a ton of football to watch right now. So I'm going to let Carson start us off with his picks for the top 20 list.
Okay, so the top 20 list just came out today, and it's just in alphabetical order right now, and they released the actual list on who the NFL players actually physically voted on Sunday. So we're just going to go through and see and say who we think should be placed 1 through 20. So at number 1, I personally think Aaron Rodgers should be there because he won back-to-back MVPs. He was very dominant last year, and I think he'll end up being placed at number 1. So Chase got number 2.
Number 2, I gotta go with my boy, TJ Watt. Big Steelers guy, Defensive Player of the Year, tied the sack record. There's no reason for him to be any lower than 2.
I agree.
I agree with both of those picks. Back-to-back MVP, set a record, tied the record, But at this next pick, at number 3, I'm leaning towards Aaron Donald, Myles Garrett, just because they're still so dominant. But what do you guys think? Do you think Gary or Aaron Donald?
I think it's gotta be Aaron Donald.
I think,
Super Bowl winner.
yeah. I could still justify putting Aaron Donald at number 1 in the league.
Yeah,
I
that's probably the lowest Aaron Donald's ever been, and it's 3.
Yeah. I think, okay, we're going to give number 3 to Aaron Donald because he's the most dominant player in football. All right,
so I'm here at number 4, and I think we got to give it to Triple Crown winner, Offensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl MVP, Cooper Kupp, based on his unbelievable season he had last year. He almost broke every single receiving record possible. No one's ever done what he's done before, and maybe 4 is low. Maybe he should be higher, but that's what we got right now.
it's the best receiver season of all time right there.
Number 5 is getting a little tricky here.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
so
it
you're looking
is.
at it, you got Trent Williams, you got Jonathan Taylor, who just had an amazing season, and is most likely going to do it again. You got, let's see here, even some of the quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, really good. Devontae, really good
Still
receiver.
got Brady.
Still
Still
got
got
Josh
Josh
Allen,
Allen.
Like, it's going to be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But for my number 5,
Mm-hmm.
based off last year,
Mm-hmm.
I think I gotta go with Devontae Adams.
I'm okay with that pick.
I think that works, yeah.
I'm okay with that pick.
He's been Aaron Rodgers' number 1 option. He's been dominant in his situations. Now he's in a new situation. We'll see how that works out, but I don't think there's an argument. I don't think you get roasted for putting him at 5.
No, and he'll still be with his old college quarterback.
teammate Derek Carr. So
That's chemistry. He's going to have a great year. So those 1 through 5, I think none of those are real controversial, but this is when we start getting into some difficult picks because we got some really good players on here.
there's an argument to put all these top 3,
Yeah.
let alone top 10.
So I think at number 6, and I'll take your guys' input, but I think it's real hard. I think we have to put him here, or else he's gonna drop further than some guys that he shouldn't drop past. And my number 6 is Trent Williams.
Oh yeah, Trent Williams literally got graded the single best offensive lineman season of all time. I think 6 is low, but
It is.
he personally probably should be high. But there's
Wait,
so many
you
good
also
players;
think
it's so
about-
hard.
Above him is a lot of skill positions.
Yeah,
right?
it's position value, it's all this other stuff. But I think you can never go wrong putting Trent Williams up there.
Again, you could make an argument that he could be 1, 2, like Aaron Donald, but when you have some of these guys like Cooper Kupp on the list, it makes sense putting Trent Williams at 6 for us.
Yeah, Trent Williams doesn't have obviously the same physical stats you could see, like sacks, like receptions, like touchdowns, like all that stuff.
Yeah,
But
he's just a monster.
he got graded the literal greatest offensive line season of all time. So,
Yep.
At what, 7 we're on? I think, like we were talking about 3, Myles Garrett should be here. He should probably be earlier. Like all these players, it's so hard to place because they're all so amazing. Like Myles Garrett's probably top 3, if not top 2 pass rushers in the league. Anything like that, you can put him basically. He's always been so dominant. He's just a monster on the edge. He can basically get past anybody. Maybe not Trent Williams because he's so good, but anything else is like a mixed match.
Agreed.
You see? So we're on pick 8.
Yeah.
I think it has to go to one of the two running backs on there right now, Derrick Henry or Jonathan Taylor.
Okay, I like that input. I think you're right, but I think you gotta go with Jonathan Taylor just because I don't think they're gonna put Derrick Henry there because he missed like seven
I mean,
or
the
8
fact
games.
Derrick Henry's on this list is just insane.
Yeah.
He had 900
I
yards in
think-
the first 6 games.
Exactly. I think Derrick Henry will end up being in like the 13 to 15 range on this list.
Yeah, if Derrick Henry played the entire season last
He'd
year,
be top 5.
there's no way
Guaranteed.
you can
He'd be
put him
top
like
three.
top
Yeah.
1.
So I think it's got to be Jonathan Taylor based on last season,
Mhm.
best running back in the league,
He had like 1,700 yards, the most touchdowns,
and he's predicted to do something similar this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of touches.
and his team only got better. There's not really a expected drop off at all. So
Nope.
he's the number 1 pick in fantasy. He's the number 1 running back rated right now. He's
Yeah,
amazing player.
it's a great pick. All right, that was our number 8.
Yeah.
you're on
Okay.
him.
So pick number 9. We still have some people, the likes of Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Travis Kelce,
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is still on this list.
I think
And I think with pick number 9, I think it would be wrong to have Tom Brady outside of the top 10. So, do you guys agree with Tom
I mean,
Brady at
yeah.
9?
I was gonna go either him or Josh Allen. So
I was thinking the two.
I think both of them deserve to be back to back.
I think
Like you can put either of them at 9 or 10.
so. You
think
guys
it works
like
for
that? Brady 9, Josh Allen 10.
I
think
think
that
the
works.
7-time Super Bowl winner has to come first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I mean, yeah.
okay.
Josh Allen had a great season. He's the league favorite to win MVP right now for this upcoming season, but this is about last year
Yeah.
and the year before, so I think he's properly placed.
I think so too. All right. So Carson, you can take us away with number 11 now.
So number 11, I'm really looking at in between 3 players, in between Travis Kelce, Justin Jefferson, and Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if I have to go, I think Tyreek Hill will be the faded one out of that option. So I
Yeah.
think down between Justin Jefferson and Travis Kelce. And just by playoff value, I think Travis Kelce should be the next player up because what he did against the Bills games, against the Chargers last year, just in general, he can go ahead and just win games single-handedly. Mahomes and him have a super crazy connection that you throw it up to him, he knows where to go, he knows where to play. So I think we'll put Travis Kelce at 11.
Totally, and I mean, it's something to say that he is the only tight end on this list. Like,
Yeah,
he's such a dominant player in football. I think it's hard to grade him based on a numerical number when he's just like he changes any game he's in. He's such a threat.
Speaking of a threat, Tyreek Hill. Speed demon. All right. Playing for the Chiefs. Catch a dump off pass. Run 50 yards past half the defense for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Seen it happen multiple times. Really good receiver.
Going back to that Chargers game, he took just a drag across the field and then took it to the house out at the sideline to make them be an opportunity to win that game.
See, I like that pick in terms of actual in-game value because I personally believe Justin Jefferson is a better player.
Yeah.
And I think you can argue them like Justin Jefferson and Tyreek to flip on our list. But I think in terms of like positional and playoff value, I'm taking Tyreek
Yeah,
Hill
I
because
would give him the edge too.
he can
'Cause-
take over a game.
Yeah,
single-handedly.
we haven't seen what Justin Jefferson's done in the playoffs because he's been there, but that doesn't mean by any means that he wouldn't show up or do anything. But
Yeah.
you see Tyreek Hill's presence and his dominance that the Bills literally started playing cover 3 drop every single play to make sure they can't beat him over the top.
Tyreek Hill is the reason that teams change game plans.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Justin Jefferson is a really good receiver. I think he should be next on the list.
Mhm.
But if you're one player like Tyreek Hill to make a whole team rethink what they're playing,
Yeah.
I think
It's
that's
crazy.
awesome.
So, again, I agree with all of that. Tyreek Hill definitely deserves that spot. But with that being said, in our number 13,
Yeah.
I'm putting Justin Jefferson. It was his second year in the league. And he has already established himself as a consensus top 5 wide receiver, which is incredible in itself, especially considering that he's just lights out. Like the plays he makes,
He's like 24 years old.
yeah, so young, making plays week in, week out. I think it's beyond impressive what he's doing. So Justin Jefferson earns our number 13.
All right, at 14, we have left on the board. We got Deebo Samuel, we got Jalen Ramsey, we got Michael Parsons, we got Patrick Mahomes, we got Shaquille Leonard, we have J.C. Jackson, we have Derrick Henry, and that's all. So we have those 6 players to go through. And staring out to me is good old MVP winner, Super Bowl MVP winner, quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. He's literally top 5 in positional value in general, and we're putting him at 4 right now, which seems crazy, but I think he shouldn't fall past 14.
No, I agree. I mean, he did fall off a little bit last season from the year before.
But that was a lot of they had to start scheming how to stop Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
And Travis Kelce was having a little bit of hamstring injury the whole season, so.
But he's still an incredible quarterback.
And I'm sure when they drop the actual top 20 list, he's going to be higher than, 14 we just put him at?
He'll be 8, I think.
Yeah, I think he'll probably be in the 8 to 11 range, which makes sense. He's one of the most gifted players that's ever seen that position.
I think it's time to put the king at number 15, Derrick Henry. Even though he didn't play much last year, he was still on pace to break records.
He still was 3rd in rushing, and he played 9 games.
Yep.
Or
and we've seen him the year before.
Went over 2,000 the year before.
Absolutely demolished the league.
He was on pace to have 500 carries and 600 touches, which is just absurd and unheard of.
I think the only reason he's this low is because he was injured.
Yes, he was on pace to have 2,200 yards last year.
He would be way higher.
And 32 touchdowns.
Possibly a 1,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
he had a 1 MVP.
Yes.
He deserves his spot completely.
And he'll definitely get comeback player of the year this year. So.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I believe so as well.
That's my expectation.
So that is our number 15. At 16, I think that we need to put someone that could be argued a little higher considering the year he had and the positional value he brought because it wasn't totally his position. I think Deebo Samuel deserves number 16.
I completely disagree.
You do?
Yes.
Do you think he should be lower?
Yes.
I thought by you saying that you were going to go Micah Parsons because he started out as a coverage linebacker and then started playing edge inside on back in coverage. He started literally just being a defensive masterpiece.
I think Micah Parsons should be the next off our list considering he was at the end of the season, he's in the MVP conversation. He had 11 sacks,
and he was 3rd.
He is the only
defensive player of the year, and he's a rookie.
He's the only rookie on this list, and that's incredible. But I don't think we can take away from what Deebo did. And keep in mind, he kept this going through the playoffs, through the NFC Championship. He was one of the reasons why they had a chance in that game.
That is true, but you also got to think his first season in the league. Terrible.
We're not talking about this. We're talking about the past year. I mean, if you look at, Josh Allen. We were talking about this earlier. Josh Allen, his first 2 years in the league were not great, and he's had a couple good years now. But I really don't think you can take away from what Deebo did. And I think Deebo had more of an impact to his team than Micah Parsons did this past year. Micah Parsons was a monster, but I think Deebo deserves the number 16 spot. What do you think? Deebo or Micah?
I think we should flip.
You think
Micah
Parsons?
Parsons should be ahead of him.
Okay, that's fair.
Because he was 3rd in physical defensive player of the year as a legit rookie.
Yeah.
And he started out just being a normal coverage linebacker. The Cowboys fans were like, why did we just draft a linebacker? We have 3 already. Yeah. And then it turns out, boom, week 3, they cut Jalen Smith. Week 4, Van Der Esch goes down for the 7th time. So they only had Micah Parsons and Keanu Neal, who's a safety formed into a linebacker.
And he stepped up for him.
And Micah Parsons then went and played edge when DeMarcus Lawrence went down and was dominant there. He just played every single defensive position that they needed him to, and he excelled at all of them.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. I think he's going to have one of the best defensive careers he has so much potential, and it's probably the most we've seen in a long time. So, are we putting Micah Parsons at 16, Deebo at 17?
I think so.
I think I'm perfectly fine with that.
But then we also got to remember we're forgetting Jalen Ramsey still on this.
Jalen Ramsey, he had a drop-off year.
He did.
Last year was a lower end year for him. He still was all-pro. He still was amazing. He still was unbelievable. No one throws at him because he's a monster, and he only ends up with 3 interceptions, not that many tackles because he has 30 PBUs. No one can pass the ball on him really. No one really beats him that much, but last year was a down year for him. And the playoffs, he wasn't as amazing as he should have been or dominant as he normally was. So I think him dropping a little bit because of that makes sense.
I think it makes sense as well. I think when the NFL releases their actual top 20,
He'll probably be higher.
he will be higher just because
of past years.
And it's voted on by physical NFL players. They understand what the non-statistical value each of these players have. So I assume Jalen Ramsey will be a lot higher than what we put him on this, but
which makes sense.
But based
because
on what we can
he's
see from
good.
last season,
yeah,
I think 18.
17.
Yeah.
17.
15 was Micah, 16
Jebo, 17.
Because left we have
J.C. Jackson,
Shaquille Leonard,
Jonathan Taylor. Or no.
Maybe it was 18.
He's 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we have J.C. Jackson and Darius Leonard.
Yeah.
Okay. And at number 19, I think we have to put Darius Leonard. I think he's a dominant player.
He literally has the nickname of the Maniac for a reason, because any single play, even if it's like a deep ball to Tyreek Hill, you'll see him 3 seconds later all the way down there, and he's a linebacker. Like, he's not supposed to be this crazy fast dude, but he's always working his tail off. He's running sideline to sideline. He's always involved in the ball. And if you look at like how he plays, his little right hand over here, he has a whole knockout punch that he throws every single time there's a football.
Mm-hmm.
If he lands that, force fumble every single time, and he'll probably recover it too. Like, he's so insane that I feel it's insane that we put him at 19, but there's just so many good players on this list. It's so hard.
It's positional value, and I mean 19 seems low, but when you have like these players ahead of them, like these crazy players, it makes sense. And Darius Leonard, he is one of those players that can take over a game. He is like the captain of his defense.
There was a game last year, I don't remember who it was against, but the Colts were down late in the fourth quarter, and the other team was just trying to run the ball to chew it out, and he threw one of those knockout punches and forced the ball out, and then they scored a touchdown to win the game.
Yeah.
So he can single-handedly change a game like that he's done. And he's been all-pro every single year he's been in the league, and he was all-pro as a rookie as well, so this isn't new for him being up here, but I think we put him low. But still, there's so many players on here that you can't really change where they're at.
It's a real hard list. I think the easiest pick is our next one, number 20, the last on the list, J.C. Jackson.
I think it's arguable for him to not even be on the list.
I agree.
Other players from last
I think other people
even
should be up here.
Jamar Chase.
Yes,
right?
Jamar Chase.
One of the best wide receiver rookie seasons of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brought his team to a Super Bowl. Last play of the game, he's running. Ramsey's on the
He beats
ground.
Jalen Ramsey.
Best quarterback in football.
Luckily, he had the best defensive player probably in history on his team, Aaron Donald, to be there and
Stop
disrupt Joe Burrow from
making
making the pass. We don't know. It's speculation if you would have thrown it to him, whatever. But
and keep in mind, this is a rookie. I mean, J.C. Jackson, he's a very good player. He just got a bag from the Chargers.
For a reason.
He deserves it.
He's
a
had
very
the most
good player. He's a
interceptions
ball
the
hawk.
past 4 years total, or 3 or something like that. He's always he always gets his hands on the ball. He's a lot better than people give him in coverage. Like, he's a very good player still, and he's undersized, and he still plays the boundary. Like, he's not like, oh, I'm 5'11", let me go play the slot because I can't guard any of the big guys. Like, he puts himself in situations to get the ball. Like, he shows what he can do. But a lot of people don't know what to do with, oh, they're not on the Patriots anymore. Can they really go play in another system?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see how J.C. Jackson forms this year, but we'll put him at number 20.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great list. I think the players that the NFL released for their top 20, I personally really like the list.
Yeah.
I think everyone but J.C.
All of them
Jackson
deserve to be here.
Yeah.
J.C.
And J.C. Jackson
top
is
25.
There's an argument.
Yes.
He's top 25
Definitely
for sure.
argument.
Top 20, it can be
Fringe.
debatable
Yeah.
Mhm.
for other players to do something.
And it's
like
super hard
that.
to rank players when they are not play the same position.
Yeah.
Or they don't play the same side of the ball or
Yeah.
anything like that.
And that
'cause-
goes back to positional
Yeah.
value that we were talking about, like Trent Williams compared to like
Trent Williams is the only offensive lineman on here.
yeah, like Trent Williams compared to like say Jonathan Taylor. Like Trent Williams doing his job is the reason Jonathan Taylor was having a good season. Like Jonathan Taylor has his own
Yeah.
great O line.
Like, a running back can't really do that much if you say hut and there's 4 defensive linemen in the
yeah,
backfield.
you need an offensive.
You have
line.
to have blocks. You have to find the holes that the running backs do, but then you have to get to the second level with the center or the guard that's pulling. Like, you have all these different moving pieces that a whole team has to run together,
Yeah.
or nothing happens.
Yeah. All right, well, that's our top 20.